Hello everyone, this is Kevin, your entrepreneur, and what got me out to do a third video today when I wasn't going to do it? Well, the fact that Uber is officially being sued for their upfront pricing. And of course, they're not being sued by the passengers, although I believe some passengers filed a separate lawsuit about something similar to this. And, you know, if I'm wrong about that, then chances are they will be filing a lawsuit similar to this. But the drivers, of course, have filed a lawsuit against this. And that is, of course, the fact that Uber has like an upfront pricing fee for the passengers. Now, they did this because they wanted to eliminate the confusion about, you know, surge pricing and how much rides could potentially cost. But as we all know, what they typically do is they will typically give a higher estimate than what the ride is actually going to cost. They will use an algorithm in the system that calculates the longest possible route you could take there that doesn't look suspicious, and they will charge based on that, knowing that in reality, the driver will take a much shorter route to get there. And when they do that, the drivers get paid less money. Not only do the drivers get paid less money, but the passengers end up paying more money up front for miles that were not driven. Now, this is on regards to the driver's side, and again, I believe there has been a separate lawsuit for the passengers about this, and if there hasn't, there will be one soon. But the drivers have basically pointed out that there was a clause in the user agreement, that very clearly stated that Uber would pay, you know, the amount based on miles and only take away a percentage, which, if this upfront pricing thing is to be true, and it is true, I mean, there's not even any dispute on that one, Uber is breaking their own terms of agreement, and that is not right. And we also have multitudes of proof because Uber, if you've watched some of my other videos, will comp you the difference if you complain about it, for the most part. Sometimes they won't, but for the most part, if you actually have, you know, a way to like screenshot what the trip was actually going to cost and what you actually got paid, guess what? You show that proof to Uber, they will refund you the money. And they do that because, well, because it's their terms of user agreement. They shouldn't be fudging on this in the first place. They found a way to cheat the drivers and the passengers at the same time for more money. That's what they did. Now, here's the funny thing. I actually do want to know, and you can tell me this in the comment section below, whether or not, as a passenger, you think this is a good trade-off, because people used to complain about being surprised by how much they cost, but I wonder how many passengers are actually okay with paying more money with a little bit of peace of mind knowing what it's going to cost. Because I think some passengers would be shocked to find out that if they're frequent Uber users, that they've probably spent $20, $50, maybe $100 more in fares than they've needed to because of this upfront pricing. But maybe they don't care because they knew in advance what it was going to cost. I don't know. But of course, the bottom line is Uber probably can't do this. Now, the one thing that's interesting about this case, okay, there's two things actually. First, this is not being done by that Lisa girl whose name I can't really remember, the one who normally handles these class action lawsuits, and I think that's a good thing. With all due respect to her, I think she's lousy at what she does. It's pretty clear that she's taken on these cases, these class action lawsuits, and I mean, settling is part of the deal. I understand that class actions, one of the things that's enticing about them is that you settle. The thing is, she has always and consistently settled for far less than what they should be settling for, to the point where drivers get basically nothing, but she gets a huge chunk of money. So it's worth it to her to settle for that price, but not worth it to the drivers. These new lawyers, I don't know what their ball game is, but hopefully they'll be a little bit more aggressive. And of course, the second thing is, since we do have new lawyers, it is interesting to note that they have actually not stated how much the class action suit is for, which suggests they're asking for a lot of money. Like, they're probably asking for a lot of money, and they're probably also asking for this to be abolished because it's not fair to the drivers or the passengers, but especially not to the drivers. So this could be a different kind of class action lawsuit against Uber, and it'll be very interesting to see what direction it takes. I, of course, hope that they, you know, this is one of the few class action lawsuits where it's like, I hope we win, and that it makes some real changes. I still don't want to be classified as an employee, but this is something where it's like, I agreed to this. I agreed that I would do it for you know, whatever the fare was minus 25% that Uber takes. And Uber has broken that agreement. And so therefore, I am all for them losing this lawsuit. What do you folks think, though? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think it's a bad thing? I would love to know. Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.